Zorik here, and just in case I time out, I wanted to let you know that I'll restart this again in about 20 minutes, I suppose, when I get back to my mom's house here, where I'm staying while she's in the hospital. I mean, in rehab. Now, I'm outside Look, which is one of those restaurant movie theaters where you can order. Hey, cats and kits, Captain Zorik here, sort of the Captain Marvel Commando here, being as I just decided to throw my Captain Marvel doublet over my Polish Commando jacket and so forth, because, you know, the temperature allowed me to, and I wanted to rep the Captain Marvel. See, I got the Carol Danvers cap here, because I just went out and saw The Marvels, the new Marvel Comics movie. Let's see, it's kind of warm in here, so I'm going to take this off in a minute. That was probably going to be Captain Marvel 2, but for reasons that I perfectly understand and actually approve of, wound up including more than just one character, and so they just, and all three of the main lead superhero characters happen to be happen to have been at some point in the comics Captain Marvel or Captain Marvel adjacent. So they called it The Marvels. I mean, that's just my assumption and so forth. By the way, the paintings in the back, that one, and the pencil drawing over there, my father did that. Anyway, see, there's a signature to prove it. Anyway, I like this movie. I like this movie a heck of a lot. It was fun. It was kind of like, it was paced and balanced, a lot like, to me, Star Trek 6. Because Star Trek 6 being, you know, having the TV show and 5 previous movies before it, they didn't have to spend a lot of time going into character development and origins and things like that. They could just jump right into the story and go with it. Oh my God, I got ugly circles under my eyes. I gotta get some more sleep. Anyway, and like this one is much the same. While they do make some references, they do, they actually, remembering the past and going over it, and flashbacks are actually a part of the story here. It does help if you know who these characters are going in, and knowing them in the comics is nice, but their stories are different enough in the movies that you can have gone to the movies and not seen and not read any of the comics, and you'll be fine with regards to understanding what's going on. Kind of a messy hair day here, but at least it's clean. All right, so here's the review of Marvel Studios' new movie, The Marvels, which I just came to see. Damn good movie. It's really fun, and it's fast-paced, lots of good superhero action. It's funny for all the right reasons, and it's funny in all the right spots. It does make lots of good Easter eggy things to regarding the comics, and even one reference to Wizard of Oz. I mean, one could say there's sort of an overall Wizard of Oz reference to the whole thing about it, but you know, when you hear a particular name get called out, you're like, they're doing the Wizard of Oz thing here. So the plot, without trying to overspoil it, involves Carol Danvers, Marvel Comics' current Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau, who was Marvel Comics' second Captain Marvel, but has not yet been a Captain Marvel in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and Kamala Khan, who is Marvel Comics' current Ms. Marvel, but the first Ms. Marvel in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And having something happen in the universe that the villain character does, that makes it so that when one of them uses their power, all three of them switch. When one of them uses their power at the same time that another one is using their power, they switch places, or something like that. I think only one of them has to do it, and then two of them switch places. No, when one of them uses it, all three of them switch places, like going around in a circle. But if two of them use it at the same time, the third one is left out. And that is a really nifty sort of a concept to play with in a movie that's supposed to be kind of funny, because there's lots of comedy inherent in it, and there's also a lot of action and drama possible with it. And just about every angle and emotional outcome you could expect from such a gimmick is played out in this movie. Now, as you may recall, in the first Captain Marvel movie, the Skrulls were a thing, and the Skrulls were also a thing in the Secret Invasion series that just went through. I only saw the first couple of episodes, so I'm not exactly sure what happens in that. But in this one, the Skrulls are still basically refugees, but there's been a war going on between them and the Kree, and the Kree's planet is an ecological disaster because they have spent all their resources trying to battle the Skrulls. And a member of the Kree is doing a thing to try to bring the home world back, restore its air, its water, its sun. And that's the kind of, what the alien's trying to do actually seems to be pretty solidly motivated for a good reason, kind of a thing. It's the Killmonger concept, where or Kingsman, where the villain actually has got some kind of good points, if only they didn't have to kill so many people to achieve their ends. Well, the three characters, Carol Danvers, Monica Rambeau, and Kamala Khan, wind up meeting finally for the first time. Well, Carol and Monica for the first time in a very long time, and Kamala with either of them ever, through this accidental someone uses their power and everybody switch places thing. Fortunately, even though they can be one of them can be out in outer space and the other one on Earth and another one in another part of the galaxy, enough of them have powers that they're able to come together quickly enough to make it happen. Now, there is a lot of fun in watching the relationships between these three women. And one thing I want to say, this is a movie with three women. Three women with diverse ethnicities, all right? And I'm going to go there because everybody else has. Well, not everybody else has. I actually saw one or two reviewers that totally made no hay about the sociological implications of the casting of this movie and the characters themselves. Unlike a whole bunch of haters who are like, oh, this movie's going to bomb, it's going to suck, who wants to see this? Kind of a thing. First off, I was watching the whole movie, and I'm a guy, and I never thought of them as women. Does that make any sense? I thought of them as people who happen to be women, as opposed to thinking of them as like sex objects, or as they really didn't they didn't play the woman card. The fact that they were women never really came up, except for one particular thing that Carol Danvers did on another planet for the sake of peace and diplomacy, which leads to some really funny stuff, which I wish they could have shown that part, how that happened. A lot of stuff happened between the last movie and this movie that they didn't do. Like I say, this feels like Star Trek 6. But you get to see it all in like flashbacks and storytelling and stuff, and exposition. So I didn't really see how this could be a sociological issue, how this could be woke or anything like that, because, it's just people being people and doing their jobs. They just happen to be women, that kind of thing. Likewise, the black woman. Likewise, the teenage Muslim Pakistani girl. They just happen to be women, and a woman and a girl, and a teenage girl with superpowers and stuff. And so all you folks who are afraid that there's going to be preaching and stuff like that, or whatever, that it's all woke and stuff. It's not woke if it's just a thing. If it's just there, it's not. I mean, you know what? It is woke, and you know what? Woke ain't bad, so get over it. All right. What are you going to do? Say you can't make a movie with three lead women, who all happen to have superpowers? All right. And you can't make a movie with a diverse cast? What? What are you going to do? Anyway, and frack you all for making me have to think about that. All right? But you know what? The movie was good enough and fun enough. I didn't think about it while I was watching it until, near the end. Now, the science of the science fiction gets a little wordy, and so and while I understood everything because I've read a lot of science fiction and watched a lot of these kinds of movies, if you haven't, just go with it because another character is going to explain it in plain English on the very next line. Yeah, it's confusing as this person. Who am I watching it on? What planet are they? But that's kind of the point. You're supposed to be confused. So just go with it. It'll all come out in the end. The action scenes were very fun and entertaining and well choreographed, but I think that they were shot a little bit too close and the movement a little bit too fast to catch it all. What's it called? Captain America Winter Soldier was very good at avoiding that in being able to see all the action, feel all the speed without it being so close cropped cut that you couldn't tell what was going on. You actually could. This movie's not quite there with that, but just go with that's kind of the point. This is supposed to be confusing. There's a whole scene that is basically musical with singing and dancing, and that evokes the Pakistani wedding at the Pakistani American wedding in Ms. Marvel. Also evokes the Bollywood scene in Eternals. But since it's on another planet, it's got its own spin. It's got a new twist, so you don't have to pick on it for its authenticity to Bollywood or whatever, because it's on a different planet. Damn it, Janet. There is, of course, and Goose, the Flurkin, the alien cat with the tentacles, because doesn't have much to do during the movie, but is a very key part to the climax, to the resolution, to the solving of a very important problem. We're introduced to an international space defense organization called Saber, which is a saber is a type of sword, and the sword was the name in the comics. And it turns out that they're not just Americans, they're not just Earthlings. There's like aliens there, and there's a few bits of humor involving aliens who act just like humans, and you might think are human until someone asks them how old they are, and they reveal their true age. The family story of Kamala Khan, her mom, her dad, her brother. Very good family story, good for both comedy and drama. I mean, the drama doesn't get too heavy there. It's partly played for laughs, and they don't have time to milk it with the tears and all that. But also, Kamala Khan's superhero identity is known to her family, and so they, of course, are reasonably scared. It is very reasonable for them to be scared about the well-being of their daughter, their teenage daughter, as she goes out and saving the universe and fighting bad guys and stuff. But they also have a very practical way of dealing with it. They're able to keep their encounters with the extraterrestrials and the extraterrestrial threat. They're able to deal with it in their American-Pakistani way. Pakistani-American way. There's a good little joke between Nick Fury and the brother, who happens to be the devout conservative Hindu of the group. That helps take the edge off a very, very tense scene towards the end of the movie. Um, the post credit scene. It's more of a mid-credit scene. There's no post. There's a pre-credit scene, a mid-credit scene, and just a sound effect at the end of the credits that you ought to listen to. But the mid-credit scene acknowledges the presence of an alternate universe in the MCU, an alternate universe that has been thunk through, that might or might not be the universe of other movies with Marvel characters that are not Marvel Studio movies, and that's very fascinating. But I got the feeling that it was written, directed, shot, and put in there in such a way that it could either be the setup for a coming movie, or it could be like the guy in the soap opera who infamously went upstairs to wax his skis and was never heard from again. This could be, it could serve as one of those, and she was never heard from again type of scenes, or there could be a movie set in that universe, or a movie that they go back and forth between that universe and this one. It could go either way with that. Now, again, I don't want to take too long because I got to take my pre-work nap before my overnight shift. Otherwise, these under-eye circles here will just get worse and worse. Fortunately, I didn't need to. I only needed to take a few sips of an energy drink to. Actually, I probably didn't even need to stay awake through the movie. I was during one of the wakeful periods of my day, even though it's usually the period I take my pre-work nap. But in any event, I don't want to take too much more time with this. So let me just say, yeah, if you like superhero movies, you're going to like this movie. If you don't like superhero movies, then I can't say that there's a lot in this movie that's gonna thrill you. If you like seeing movies with women, movies with women that are written and performed as the women are real people, not like they're just the female counterparts of men, or that they're meant, or that this is the kind of movie with women that you're supposed to go home and dream about. Yeah, this isn't one of those. They're, the women are attractive enough, but this isn't a titillation picture. All right, this isn't Barbed Wire. This isn't, Faster Pussycat Kill Kill. This is a movie with 3 female characters in it, one of whom is a teenager. Okay. Although I will say this, I really hope that Brie Larson's belly button showing in the scenes with her, where her belly button showing is meant to be a sort of reference to Ms. Marvel's first costume, which had both a belly and a lower back cutout. Ladies, tell me please, I have no idea. Do you actually enjoy showing off your belly buttons, or are you just victims of the misogynistic fashion industry that wants women to show off their belly buttons? I don't know. I've never understood that. Please explain in the comments or something. So yeah, damn good movie. Go see it. Don't listen to the haters. The only reason not to see it might be if action-packed, funny superhero movies are just not your thing. That's the only reason not to see it, okay? And that was my stream of consciousness review of The Marvels. Now I'm going to edit this together, throw it up on YouTube, and I love you all. Maureen and everybody else who watch this, thank you very much. Captain Zorik Now is coming at you.